Hey everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shane. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video where we're going to go and do one of the Patreon soap design challenges. For this month I asked my patrons to list either an in-bed or a topper that they'd like to see me use on a soap, and there were some crazy suggestions. Things like doing wombats and kangaroos, and I was dreading pulling them out, but I did put all the suggestions into my soapy jug, and the one I drew out came from Lee, who runs Bath and Body Bliss here in Australia, and I will leave links to her business down in the description box. Go and check her out because she's got some beautiful work and her website looks fantastic as well. And Lee wanted to see me use pineapples. Now I was really pleased this one came out, not only because it is a relatively simple in-bed for me to have made, but also because I had been testing a new fragrance I'd got in, which I actually call Tropical, and it smells like caramelized pineapple, and I made some of my little ray of sunshines in it to see how it would behave. Now this was white, and you can see it hasn't browned, but it has gone quite a dark cream color, and the yellow I used actually wasn't a very good yellow either, or wasn't a good yellow, so that's not really an indication, but it did make it just come up that little bit darker. So knowing that from my little ray of sunshines, I decided to go ahead and use this tropical fragrance in a big loaf of soap, and that is what we're going to do today, starting off by making the pineapples using a little silicone mold. Let's go. Okay, so to make our pineapples, I'll be using this silicone mold, which is available on the Pimp My Soap site, and it's just got 3 very simple pineapples in here. And when we start building up our soap dough, we can get some really nice looking in-beds using these. For my soap dough, I've got some Monstera. I'm going to be using some Sunshine, and then I'm going to be mixing it with a little bit of lemon and just a little bit of chocolate as well, just to give the pineapple a little bit more of a realistic look. I'm going to start off with the Monstera, and I'm going to break myself a piece off. It is quite cool today, so the soap's a little bit harder than normal. Just going to give it a little bit of condition, get it working, and then I'm just going to break off a piece. I like to roll mine into a smooth ball first. I just find it gives me a nicer sort of working area, and I'm just pushing it into where the leaf is going to go. And when I'm doing it, I'm trying to make sure that the green doesn't come down into the actual yellow area too much, what we will be doing as yellow. You can do a little bit that goes down to it, because if you think about when you look at pineapples, they often do have that green starting to come down from off the leaves into the main fruit, but it's really up to you how you decide to do it. I'm actually going to do all 3 of the pineapples all at the same time. That piece was probably just a little bit big, so what I'm going to do is just grab my scraper and just flatten that back out there, make sure that we're all nice, and then we'll just add that bit into the end one here, making sure to push it down so it's nice and flat. And again, I'm just going to even the top of that one off, just means that they sit so much nicer on the soap, and they're nice and even and less wastage as well. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of our Sunshine and get the green off our cutter here. I'm going to grab a bit of that one. I'm going to get a little bit of the lemon, not a lot, just enough to add a little bit of different colour. And then I'll also add in just a little bit of the chocolate, because often you have like little splashes of brown in pineapples too. And now I'm just going to mix that together, not too much so we make another colour, but so that it's just kind of started to mottle together would be the best sort of way. So you can see we've got a little bit of brown mushed through there, and you can see the different shades of yellow. Then I'm just going to break a piece off, roll it into a ball, and push it into that cavity like that, making sure that it joins onto that green so we can pull it out as one whole piece. So I tend to just wipe up the back and make sure that that soap dough all blends into each other. So let's fill in the next one. And again, just pushing it in and up into that green to make sure that it's together when we go to pull it out. And then we'll do the final one as well. So these are nice and quick and easy to make. All right, so they're all in. And then what I do is just very gently start to bend my silicone mold, and it will start to release our little embeds. can feel that one's coming up now, so pull that one out. And there is our first little pineapple. How cute is that? And so easy and quick to make as well. Let's pull this one out. And the level of detail that is in that spike and on the actual pineapple is just such a cute mold, this one is. Let's grab our final one, pull it just gently out, and there is that one. So that was very quick and simple to do. So we've got 3 little pineapples all done up. My plan is to do at least 2 pineapples per bar of soap, so I need to make 36 of these in total. Pineapples all done. They really didn't take me very long at all, maybe about 15 to 20 minutes in between serving customers as well. Love the incredible detail that that mold gives as well. So easy to use. So we've got our oils and our lye water ready. I'll be using a fragrance oil that I call Tropical. It's proven to be really popular in our Bath and Body range, in all of our lotions, body butters and things like that. So I thought we'd do it in a soap. It's got notes of pineapple, there is some magnolia, there's vanillas in there. I think it smells like caramelized pineapple. It says that there is 0 vanillin, but there must be just a tad bit of ET vanillin, because when I did my little Raz Sunshines, as I showed at the beginning, they do have a slight brownish touch, but I'm going to keep to nice bright yellows and greens for this one. So let's get this all blended and we'll split it out for the colors. I'm going to do it in 2 layers, and in my base we're going to have this dark yellow as a bit of a drop. Really don't want a lot in the sort of swirly colours. I am also going to do just a little bit of elusive in the bottom, but I'm also going to do some in the top, so we'll pour off a bit more so we can do a swirl in the top bit as well. And then I'm also going to use this one, which is some Sahara. And again, only need a little bit of that, just to add that little bit of colour. And then in my really big pot over here, I have some Caribbean mica. This is going to be the top layer. Need a little bit more of this one. That should be enough. Clean up my mess here. Now into my big bucket, I'm going to put in some Tuscan Sun. Really like this yellow. It will give a fairly pale yellow, so I'm going to put in a fair amount to get a good colour that won't discolour over time. Let me get these colours mixed in and add in the fragrance, and then we'll get to pouring. all of that mixed in, let's grab our mold, and I'm just going to go for my very classic pour that I do. So going about halfway with my yellow, we're going to drop in these other colours and then pour the rest of that yellow in. Oh, I'm going to try and get it into the mould, save that for the top. Might save, if I can actually get it into the soap mould, might save a little bit of the brown for the green as well. Not a lot, just enough. Yeah, we're making a mess today. How much of that went down there? Not too much, not too bad. Let's get it in the mould. No one will ever know. This one might be a little bit too thick to have got my curly whirly, so I'm just going to put the chopstick through it as well, just to try and get, I don't think there was a lot of movement there, so let's do that. Just while that sets up, let's get this green sorted out. So it looks like we've got a bit of it in the pot flip-flop happening there. So let's get this poured onto the top of this one. I textured the top of this as well to kind of make it look like a top of a pineapple. And once this green has set up, I am going to put a little bit of texture on this one too before we put our pineapple embeds. So yes, I forgot to add the brown into that green. I've just spotted it sitting there, but that's all right. I've got a couple of little testers I can give away. This is really setting up, so let's get the spoon in there, texture it. I kind of want it to look almost like it's got pineapple leaves on the top here. So just gonna keep pushing that spoon in, making some quite deep dents into it. And then once I've got that all done, I have a little bit of biodegradable glitter to go on the top, and then we'll get those embeds. I have taken my gloves off to do this because it is easier. The first one I'm going to do, I've got some Tree Green, which is one of the new Christmas bio sparkles on the Pimp My Soap website, but that's not to say you can't use it for any other occasion. So we'll do a little bit of that, and then to add just a little bit more sparkle, I also have some Midas Touch, so we'll just put a little bit of that one in there, and then let's get those pineapple embeds on here too. So there it is, Tropical is now in the mold. It smells fantastic and I'm really pleased with how it looks. I did have my pineapple sitting up just a little bit more, and then I remembered we have to think about packaging, so I did knock them down just a little bit so that there's no risk of them breaking when we do go to shrink wrap them. I'm going to leave this one sit overnight and we'll be back shortly and we'll cut it open and see what we've got on the inside. So how bright and cheery does that look? It smells really good as well. Can't wait to get it cut open, see what we've got on the inside. So let's get it all lined up on Ida. I still haven't fixed the little squeak that she has developed, but she still works, so the squeak is not too bad. Just making sure I've got all my pineapples lined up between the wires. Hopefully we won't cut any. We'll get our end pieces as well. Oh, it's gone hard overnight. Anyone would think I'd left this sitting here for a few days, but it's only been less than 24 hours. All right, we are through. Going to get rid of the end piece here, and we're going to grab, oh, look at that. That is beautiful swirls in there. Really, really like how that has come together with our two little pineapple pieces on the top there. Really, really pleased with those swirls, and they should actually become a little bit more defined as it sits here and it cures. I often find that that happens. They might look a little bit muddy to start with, and then as they sit on the cure rack, for some reason my little swirls become a lot more defined. This one doesn't have as many in there, but it's still some really nice colouring, and it smells so good as well. Really, really happy. Now with this fragrance, as I showed at the beginning, there is a very, very slight discolouring on it, so we may end up with a slightly paler colour than what we've got, but it doesn't go brown, so that's a good thing. It just affects how bright that sort of yellow comes out. But I'm really, really, really happy. Let's grab one from further down the block here. Oh, I like that piece. It's like a combination of swirls and drops in there. And I love how we've got all this different colour. Look at the swirls in that green. Really wasn't much in there, and it was thickening up, but it still looks really good. Let's grab another piece from down here. So really, really pleased with how the Tropical soap bar came out. If you enjoyed coming along with me as I made Tropical, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you then. Bye.